I'm at the home of Louis Van Iersel, and I'm going to interview him about his experiences in World War I in relationship to his winning of America's highest decoration, the Medal of Honor. You go ahead and say something. We'll just chuck it, see if they hear.
Yeah, that's something new in my place here to get an interview like this.
Okay, now I'm going to turn it off and back it up and
Yeah.
check it, okay? Okay, I'm going to turn it on and just let it run, okay?
Yeah.
We just carry on and don't even have to worry about it.
The reason is I'd like to check on that ribbon, you know.
I'll bring this in here. Okay, let's see.
I think this is the original ribbon. I think it is. I'm not so sure though, but I know that it's the same size that they have. See the difference?
Mm-hmm. There's the one right there.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it. See, that's the one I obtained, you know, from a museum back east in trade, you know, and they stated that was your medal. And I tried to backtrack as to where they originally got it, you know, and they couldn't come up with the full information.
That really don't. To me, it doesn't. This, of course, is the same thing because that is that's the way it came. But this looks newer.
Yeah, what I think, if you don't feel it's right, I mean, it might be a medal that somebody's taken, you know, a specimen medal or one that wasn't marked and they've marked it to make it into your medal, which really surprises me that somebody would do that with a man who's still alive. You know, because, you know, you can hand it to here and verify it. Okay, in your words, you don't believe that's your medal.
No, I really don't. Well, here's the story. I got a friend of mine. He is going to open a museum, a war museum, you know. And I give it to him for just for purposes of displaying. See, nothing else, you know. And he signed that, and I signed it, you know, because those things you have to be kind of careful with, you know. So that's what I did, you see, and that sure doesn't look like it.
Well, what happened to that medal then?
Huh?
What happened to that medal when you give it out to that museum?
Oh, it's not in the museum. The man still got it, as far as I know. But this really doesn't look like it.
Well, do you recall who that party was?
Yes, I know who he is, sure.
Can you give me his name?
Yeah, I will after a while. No, that really doesn't look to me like that.
Is it okay to look through these other things here?
Oh, yeah, that is some I have in that box down there.
The cravat ribbons?
Yeah. No, honestly, I don't think that he would. But then I don't know who duplicated that. That thing on the back doesn't look like it was that way. Of course, I got the damn thing so long, 60 years, you know. That's a long time, you see. So
you got it in the spring of 1919, so it was
about 1918, you know.
61.
Yeah, November 1918 is when I made it.
When was that medal presented to you?
In March 1919. In Wallendar's, Germany, by General Cushing. And the crazy part of it was, I was going to get decorated on the division review, you see, and there was 3 generals who was going to get decorated at the same time. And I was in front of the line, and the generals was next to me. That my medal outranked the generals because it was a congressional medal, you see. So before I got started with that, I went to. I had a few drinks, you know. It felt pretty good, you see. So when I came up there, they had, how they are, they have to wait around, the men stand for 2 hours, and the officers stand for an hour, and then the rest of them, that they take the time to get there, that's the way they do it, you see. So,
Hurry up and wait. Huh?
yeah, I had to wait around, and I started walking around, and like I said, I felt pretty good, you see, and I got my cap for a ass, and I went around the generals that was talking together, you see, and the one of them that get the Legion of Honor was General Lejeune, and he was the commander, the commandant of the 2nd Division at that time.
He was a Marine officer.
Oh,
right?
sure, he was. General Lejeune was a Marine officer, but we had the 5th and 6th Marines with us, you see. And they lost so damn money of them. They had to make MPs out of them later on, They didn't have enough to carry the troops on, you see. Because they had a hell of a big loss, And so General Lejeune and them was talking, finally General Lejeune turned around about twice. I walked around, like that, a little distance, and that made me feel good because you never get by with a thing like that again, you see. So I took a chance, and so finally the general turned around, he says, Sergeant, yes sir, are you lost? No sir. What you gonna get? I said, the Congressional Medal, sir. So he turned around, pat me on the shoulder. He said, Sergeant, you can stay any damn place you want to stay. I got a kick out of that, Yeah, that was General Lejeune, and he was the commander of the 2nd Division at that time, you see. That was in Wallenberg, Germany, at the 2nd Division Review. Yeah.
What was the ceremony like when they finally, decorated you with a medal? I mean, what took place?
Oh, not much. They just put the medal on, and he shook hand and said that he especially was delighted that I wasn't a citizen yet, you see, under those conditions that I made the Congressional Medal, see.
That was General Pershing, Sir Mark?
Yeah, General Pershing, yeah, you see, he decorated me first, and then the generals, you see, and then there's a big line of DSCs, and silver stars later on, but then there's some other officer, colonel, decorated the portrait,
Do you recall what date that was?
No, not offhand. It was in March, 1919. It was the 2nd Division Review in Wallenberg, Germany. So there was only one of them, so there should be, if you check somewhere, you should
Come
be
up with
able
records on that.
find that out.
Were you the only person then on that review day that was decorated with a Medal of Honor?
Oh, yeah. That's the reason that I got first in line, you see. I was first in line, and then the generals,
Well, I hope you don't mind my being maybe a little bit redundant, but I want to make sure to clarify things.
Yeah, sure, that's right. Oh, yes, I was the only Medal of Honor decorated that time.
Well, when were you born? Where were you born?
Oh, I was born in Holland on October 19, 1893. See, I was 87, October the 19th now, see. And I was born in Holland, and then I stuck around Holland for a while, and I didn't like it no more. I had a lot of trouble with the Germans. They took me into Germany and made me work down there, and I got out of there, and some guy hit me underneath the board sofa in the ship, not a ship, those, what you call them? Oh, barges, you see, a barge, and he hit me underneath that, see, and I knew the guy, see, and so he got me back in Holland, and then after I got back in Holland, after a while, I went I was on the barges before, you see, and then I went to sea when I was 16, you see. And then I was on one Danish boat for about 4 years almost, and they had a lot of Germans down there. They went to...
Where were you shipping to?
Always, all around, all over the place. Yeah, they see the Danish line. I went all over. We went to South America, we went to South Africa, and all around there, see different places, see, and Copenhagen was, Copenhagen, we call that, see, that was the main place where they, where the headquarters was, you see, And they had an officer on board down there, and second officer, and he was one of those guys that at that time a lot of those Germans, college boys, they beat it out of Germany and they took positions on those Danish and other boats.
What years were this been?
What year that was?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was about 1915 and 16, yeah. 1916 and 15, yeah. And because it was I think 1912. 6 years I was on the ships. See, in 1917 so I got in trouble with him. He tried to make me sweep up the deck, you see, after everybody else was knocked off, you see. So I said, I'm not going to do that. I said, how about the rest of them, you know? But I had a couple of drinks in me, you know, so I talked to him. And so he grabbed me by the arms like that to make me do it, you see, you know. Tried to give me the broom and make me do it, you see. And boy, I turned loose, you know, and I pulled my knife, you know, and boy, you get the hell out of there. He started running around the ship, you know. And I'm lucky for me, I didn't catch him because I would have killed him sure as heck. But oh, he was awful. Nobody on board liked him. He was one of those big shots, you know. See, nobody liked him, but then he was there and you had to go along with it, you know. So they put me in, not in irons, but they put me underneath where they keep the ropes and things like that for yeah, you know, on the front of, you know, and that, and light in there. And so when we landed in New York, they was going to turn me over to the, you know, to the police, you see. Because the captain talked to me and he says, well, he said, you made a mistake there. You shouldn't have done that as an officer and, you know, we had first charges against you. So, all right, I got there, you know, and then when we landed in New York, the boys that I served with there, the sailors, they let a rope down on that light, you know, see? And I climbed up, and I had $1.53 in my pocket, and a suit of clothes and a pair of shoes. That's all I had when I landed in the United States, and that's the way I landed in the United States. But that was in around February of 1917. See, 1917, and that was. So, all right, I got that down, you know, and so on June 5th, 1917, there was an order that every male in the United States had to register. Well, there I was, you know, I had no papers, not a damn thing to show, because when you sign up on a ship, they take the papers, you know, and that's what they did to me, you see. I got all my papers. And
you escaped off the ship, actually.
Yeah, that's right. They keep them, you know, see, they lock them up. So I didn't have no papers to show because I run away from the ship, see, I deserted. So I happened to meet a sergeant down there. He was a Dutchman, and he was a recruiting sergeant. So I explained the situation I was in to him, you know, that they had to register and I couldn't because I got no papers. As luck would be, he believed me, you see. Good for me, you know, and a lot a different story. So he says, well, I'll fix you up. So at 11 o'clock in the morning, he said, you go to the council. There's a council down here in New Jersey where that was. And you go and take out your first papers. You see, you know, but declare yourself and that I want to become a citizen, see. And the first papers was good enough to enlist in the army, see. And that made me good enough to register too. So at 12 o'clock I registered, and at 1 o'clock I enlisted in the army. that was just pure luck, you know, that it went that way, you know. It was so much different, you know, see.
You could have a lot of difficulties.
Yeah, you know, but so that was on June 5th, 1917. So they got me in the army, and they sent me to, what is it again, New York, where the fairgrounds was in New York, Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse, New York.
That's where it was, Syracuse, New York. we was formed down there, you see, and they put me first in the 48th Infantry, and then they took everyone out of the 48th Infantry and put them in the 9th Infantry. That was the 2nd Division, see. But that took about a little over a month and a half. But over there, you know, when we first went, there was such a mess, you know.
Was the 48th Infantry, was that a National Guard?
I think it was. But they put somebody in the car. Like I said, it was a mess, you know.
Right.
Oh, God, it was a mess. And, you know, everybody tried to get things in shape, you know, and everybody was confused. It was all new to them, you know. So they organized the 2nd Division then, you know. And so they had the 5th and 6th Marines and the 9th and 23rd Infantry. And then we had the 2nd Engineers and we had the headquarters companies. That was the 2nd Division, you see, but the only Marines fighting was with us, with the 2nd Division.
Right, that's correct.
You know.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, that was the only Marines who was fighting there, see. So, what I want to say, you know, I was there for a month and a half before they knew I was there. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Had all kinds of Christians, you know, around, you know, and all you had to do was walk about a quarter of a mile and get another one, you know, and I walked around, you know, and by the time I got to walking and take it easy and sit down, and I get to another place, you know, and get east, you know, and things like that. Get there a couple of days, you know, and then I move over again. See, I did it for a month. Because whenever they wanted somebody to work or something, you know, they say, hey, you see. And kind of looked around, it was just too bad, you know. Come on, you know, and I put him and got him organized, you see. But they didn't get to me for about a month and a half before I finally got caught. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah, honest to God, a month and a half before they caught me. So when I got that, you know, they say, now what the hell are you going to do with this guy, you know? I couldn't talk English, you see. All I did, you know, a little bit like the sailors talk, you know, and that's not worth talking, you know. So I got that, got organized there in the group there. I was in the 2nd Division then, and they put me in M Company of the 9th Infantry. And so they put me in the kitchen. And for 4 months, I did nothing but peeling potatoes and washing dishes and things like that. So, you know, but in the meantime, when I was free, I took a rifle and studied it and things like that, you know. So, and then there was a YMCA lady down there, and she was a real nice, Mrs. Williams, YMCA lady, and she taught me how to speak English, you see. And I picked up enough. I wasn't too dumb. I picked up pretty fast. Because I can talk French and German fluently at the time, and Dutch too, you know. So, you know, so but my mother never would let me learn English. None of our boys, was 3 boys, who never let us learn English because her brother was killed in the Boer War, you know, see. And she was still so set up about that she wouldn't, you know.
She was afraid if you could speak
English. Yeah, that was, you know, yeah. So, that was all right. I learned, and then it took 4 months, you know, and then I got the drilling, and I was drilling for 2 months, and they made me a corporal. And I still think that's a pretty damn good thing, you know. And yeah, it's such a short time, you know. But I say I studied when I was, you know, was around. So a lot of time, you know, between things, and so that's what I did, you see. And then I started drilling, you know, and we went on, I was in 7 engagements with the 2nd Division, 5 of them major engagements. I was in one on our first one was in...
Can you enumerate your different engagements? Can you go through briefly and enumerate which engagements you were in?
Yeah, that was Chateau Thurry. You see, when we was in reserve, you know, but the Marines from Chateau Thurry, you see. At 6:30 I have to go. Okay. That's all right. The Marines was in Chateau Thurry, you see, and we was in, what you call it, in reserve down there with them, and we watched, you know, we was there, and we lost about 3/4 of our people by trench feet. You know, the trenches, you know, they're pretty deep, you know, and the water about this high, you know, and colder than hell, you know, that was
Mhm.
around February and
Mhm.
March, you know, so that was cold, all right, and so we lost a lot of my frozen feet, you know, they call them trench feet, you see. They had to send them back, they couldn't walk, the guy couldn't walk, they were slow, their feet fall off. But I never been bothered with it, so that was pretty lucky. But then that was my first engagement in Seattle 30, and then later on, I went to our really first engagement with the enemy was in Soissons, Soissons, Soissons. And when I got in Soissons, we was 3 days on there, you know, three full days, you see. And I was wounded. I got a machine gun bullet right through my the flesh part of my arm, see, the left arm. And it's bled like hell, you see, you know, bleeding, you know, so they cut my sleeve, my coat off, and took the lining and tied it up. At that time, you know, you're very little, no, any guy around to help you, you know.
They didn't have very many medics.
No, very few medics around, you know, and so that's what they did. They cut the sleeve out and wrapped it up, you know, and so when I got on the third day when we rested, you know, I helped to carry about 14 wounded men from the battlefield, you see, and then I passed out. I passed out myself, you see, and they took me to the hospital too, and so I was sent to the hospital. I was there for 18 days in the hospital. Then they put me what you call a casual company, you know, and damn casual company is a mess, you know. They could put you anywhere, you know, and so I was put in a casual company. Well, after the casual company, I said to myself, hell, that's no place for me. I don't want to go nowhere else but where I was. So I started walking, and it took me 5 days walk through France to find my outfit. I found them. See, I could talk fairly good French, you know, and the boys and I had my uniform on, you know, so I made up all right. So I got...
Do you run any risk of getting in trouble like this, leaving the casual company to go and find your original unit, Company M of the 9th Infantry?
No, at that time it wasn't too bad, but I don't know, I liked the outfit so well, and they liked me so well that I know I would have no trouble. You see, I was pretty well liked because I was pretty great help to them, but talking French and German and things, that helped me a hell of a lot, and a lot of boys too, you know, see, when they went out sometime, you know, with the mademoiselles, you know, and, yeah, you know, all calls up, you know. So when I finally got back to the outfit, you know, it took me 5 days. I got back to the outfit, and I knocked on the orderly room, you know, and captain happened to be in there, and I got in, he said, where in the hell have you been, Dutch? I said, I was in the hospital. I said, they put me in a casual company, and I didn't want to do it. He says, okay, he said, we'll fix that. So they just signed me in again, and I don't believe they ever signed me out. I doubt very much. At that time, there wasn't much organization, you know, see. But anyway, they signed me in again, and I was a private, and he made me a corporal. I came back. I got a medal for helping to carry those wounded men from the field, you see. That was my first croix de guerre I got. I got a medal for that. Was my first croix de guerre, yeah, see. So then we went out to different places, you know. You go and rest for a month or so, rest sector, you know, and then they go in again, see. So the next one was, after Soissons, we got the Saint-Mihiel salient, they call that. In Saint-Mihiel, well, that was pretty rough too. There was a lot of trees and stuff down there, so it wasn't too bad. Whenever they started shooting, you get a chance enough to hide behind a tree, you know, see. You don't hit right over your head, you're all right, you see, you know.
What about that, in those kind of engagements? Did the Germans have pretty effective sniper fire?
Oh, yeah, damn right I did. I knew exactly where we was. Sure, we had no air support of any kind because we was always too close to the Germans. See, they followed us up and we followed them up. They knew exactly where we was. Sure, they knew it was where they got very damn correct. We lost a hell of a lot of people that way. Sure. Oh,
What
yeah.
about the Americans? Did they have very many snipers?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we had our machine gunners and everything too. Sure. You bet you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but then
Did you ever use in the Souchon or the Saint Mihiel salient? Did you ever use any foreign weapons? Captured German weapons?
no.
No, I just
No, we
curious.
went through that because we got our own weapon that was good, or anything that was for souvenirs, maybe somebody
The
said.
reason I ask that is because I've seen some photographs over the years that showed pictures of U.S. Ordnance Department. It showed them repairing Maxim machine guns and Maxim 08s and 08-15 guns, and they didn't. There was no other caption on the picture, and they said that they were being repaired, which would kind of led me to believe that maybe they were trying to put
No,
them in
not I
use
know
with
of.
captured
I
ammo.
don't think so.
Okay.
Very little, if any, I'm quite sure. No, we had always had plenty weapons. If there was nothing to eat, I always had something to shoot with. That's right, know. But them damn Germans, what they did, they shot the horses. See, at that time there was no any other way but horses, mules, they shot the mules from the water wagon and the chow wagon, see. So half the time we got nothing to eat. But we killed enough Germans that we got bread and everything out of their pack, and they used to carry bacon and good butter, and black bread, and so hell, we got plenty to eat. And there was always plenty dead Germans around that we could help ourselves. That's right, crazy, but that's the truth. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but many a times we went hungry a little bit, but not too much. They always try to get to us a lot of stew, and that's a good thing in the service. Warms you up. Yeah. Yeah, and then from the Saint Mihiel, we went to the Champagne sector. Champagne, that was another one again. That was more open. That was flat terrain, more flat terrain, and we lost a lot of men there too with machine gunners. But machine gunners, they hold you up, sometimes a couple of 3 hours, they hold you up. When you're held up, you have to send bodies on the flank, that you can get at them, you see, you go on the flank.
Make a flank movement there.
Oh, sure, you can't go right ahead because hell, they mow you down, sure. So that's what it was, you see, and then for some reason or other you try to shoot at something in the air or something else and confuse them, you see, that they think that you don't know where you're at or something, see. And that's the way you get the machine gunner, I got one time. He shot the heels from my shoes off. Made me mad. I got him with his gun rammed, and I got him at the butt of my rifle, hit him over the head, and there was the end of the machine gunner. Yeah, that's the only one I really know that I killed. I killed plenty of them, but that was the only one that I absolutely sure of. Because he did pop them all when he was hit.
How did you go about getting so close to him?
Oh, I was always usually ahead of everybody. I was sent out on patrols, you see. Patrol duty. And when you get patrol duty, you have to be right there, see. Yeah.
Okay, you better make
I'm going to try to
make that call. Okay, I'll turn this off right now, okay?
Yeah. I got married, hell. 1920. I went to Holland and I got married in Holland, and then I brought my wife over here. You see, I only had a couple of weeks vacation from the job I had. I was working in a bank, and I went over to Holland, and I had very little money, so I worked my way over for $1. I gave you $1 and room and board, you see.
You went over on a ship, a freighting ship or something?
They can make you do anything they want to, but at the same time, they give you $1 when you're through. But then they feed you good and you sleep. So that's what I did, and then I had just enough money to buy steerage tickets for her and me together, And I had very little money. I wasn't very rich at that time. I was poor, very poor. So my first compensation check I had from the government was $10 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I was throwing up blood. I was gas pretty bad,
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, there was no organization of anything that would help you. So $10 a month what I got. And then the next month, I raised it to $38 a month. But at the time I went after Mama, that's what I got, $10 a month. And I had a little bit saved up. I worked in a bank in Passaic, New Jersey, a special officer, the floor walker. That's what I was, you see, floor walker. And then my mother, she didn't want me to marry my wife, you see, because she was from the lower stand, in the lower bracket, so to say, and we was all people that had stores and things like that, and big shots, didn't bother me any.
Mm-hmm.
So she made it up with the priest of the parish down there not to marry me, you see. So I went over to him, I said, first thing done, he said, I have to get you to sign a statement that you're not married anywhere else. Okay. Well, I wasn't married nowhere else, so I signed a statement, And then he says, your mother doesn't want me to marry you. I said, that's fine, that suits me. I said, because I can go to The Hague tomorrow, to the American consul, and he marries me as fast as he can, and there'll be no trouble whatsoever. I said, I don't need you at all. So he didn't want to get that on his conscience, to do that to me, So he married me, and he married me at 7 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock in the morning. Nobody else ever got married that early. So it cost me $2 for everything, even including a tip to the sister. The sister is usually the one that collects for helping in the mass, see. Mm-hmm. And the sister was helping in the mass, and so before I left the church, she was right on the back of the church and collected $2. I don't know whether she trusts me or not, but I don't think so. So, and then that was all right. I got married just the same, and then I went 3 days later. I went with the boat back to the United States. See, we lived in New Jersey for quite a while there. I got in trouble with the government. The guy that they call that an officer that oversees the people that get to work, for the government to learn something. You see, that, and he wanted me to. The first thing he was going to do, gave me 1 year as special officer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did special officer for 1.5 years already, and I couldn't quite see that. So I told him. Well, he said, you got to do it. You got to do it. I said, no damn thing in this world I got to do, I don't want to, and I'm not going to. So he got me in trouble, and I lost my compensation, lost my job, and the man from the president from the bank down there, he was a general in the National Guard, so he was a big shot, so his way went, and I lost my job, and then I didn't know exactly what to do. I had a family, and I didn't have too much money saved up, so I started bootlegging. I did bootlegging for about 1.5 years, and the captain of detectives, he was an American Legion man, and he was the same outfit I was in, overseas, you see. And the chief of police, he was a Hollander. And it was a Dutchman that made the liquor for me, you see. So every week I took down a 1/2 gallon of whiskey to the police department and a 1/2 gallon of whiskey to the detective bureau, and they had a guy in front of my store. I had an ice cream and candy store I run. I had to do something, And he keep track of things, Anything went wrong, he jumped in and tell me about it, If the Federals happened to come around, that was the only one we had to watch out for, So I did that for a while, and then I sold my store, and I got a guy, I signed a paper with a guy, and that if I sold my store myself, I wouldn't have to pay him nothing, you see. So I sold the store, and he held me to it that he wanted $1,000 for selling the store. I got $3,000 for the store, and he wanted $1,000 of it. So I said, "The hell with you! I don't know." And so the captain of the detective comes over, you know, and he took me to court. You see, he went to court, you know, and when I was in court, I didn't go to court, but he had it all fixed up. On the captain of the detective comes over on Friday night. He says, "Louis," he says, "the guy that you owe the money to," he says, "he's going to get they're going to roll you in arrears," he said, "and you have to pay." He already knew what the judge was going to say. You see, you know, he checked on us. He said, "But he said, here is $500 we collected. I collected $500 among the organizations in Passaic to get me over to on the train and so I could go to California." That is something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the guy still got his, you know, his warrant for $500,000. See, I don't know if he still got it, but he never collected. No, because that was the understanding. You know, I didn't. If it was the ordinary thing, he says, "Well, so much percent, I'll give him so much," you know. But we had a special, you know, it was not in writing, you see. So I got stuck on that. So when I came here, you know, I didn't have much money, so that I went to Los Angeles on 114th Street down there in the American Legion. The girls that brought me some food and they fixed me up with a tent, and I bought a little lot for $20 down, $400 for a 40 by 100-foot lot. At that time, that was a lot of money for me, you know. So $20 down, and that's what we did, you know. And so in the beginning, I didn't have enough of time with the family, you know, to get along. But
certainly would
then,
have.
yeah, then the World Examiner took it up with the city, and they got me in on the city, see, and I worked with the city surveying for 27 years. Yeah. The first time I went down the job, you know, the guy says, "Well," he said, "maybe you can work 3 days, you know." He says, that I don't think we can help you any longer, you know, but he thought, see, but the city engineer had different ideas, you know. The city engineer wanted me to stay on there, you see. And so I stayed. That's all there is to that, you see. So I worked 27 years for the city and made out pretty good. Yeah.
When did you retire from the city then?
1954.
1954.
I was 60 years old then, yeah.
Well, to go back to your experience about after the, what was it, the Champagne? Was it?
Oh, Champagne, yeah, after Champagne, we went to Verdun.
Verdun?
Yeah, Verdun, that's where we was, and we was in tin barracks, 3 high. They had ladders up, you know, each one had a ladder, they had to climb up 3 high to get in there, you know. And that damn place was, the Germans sent gas shells over. And the gas shell doesn't explode. You can't hear it. It bursts open. And the gas scatters, you know, and they got it right in front of those tin buildings, you know, and a hell of a lot of our gang got the mustard gas, you know. So bad they had to hang them up. They couldn't sit down, they couldn't do nothing. They had to put them in, you know, on ropes, you know, and a blanket and let them lay that way. There was blisters all over the body. Oh, that was terrible. So we lost quite a few there in Verdun. Yeah. Well, that was an awful spot down there. Well, let's have a little cup of coffee. What do you say?
No, that's fine.
Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll rest a little
Go
bit.
ahead, yeah. I'll turn this off.
Just a second. Maybe I won't have to look too far.
Yeah. What about your Medal of Honor citation, the document that the government sent out to you? Do you still have that?
Oh, I got somewhere, but God knows where.
Well, that's the replacement medal.
Yeah, that's it.
how long ago would they have issued this medal here to you?
I think it's at least about 30 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, that's changed the thing too, you
But
know.
this right here, you didn't get this 30 years ago here. The ribbon. The ribbon here? This ribbon here? Or did it come on one of those ribbons?
Well, let's see, this is the old ribbon, see?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way the other one, the old one, used to be. Here's, let's see now, let's see if, no,
You have one here that's, okay, that one's one there, and that one. What happened to, why is this one like?
here it is, see, this is a little different, isn't it? Or is it the same?
Well, why is this one here? What was this one for here? Why does it have the stars going all the way through it? It's unlike the rest of these. Why?
I don't know. Let's see. Oh, this is cut out.
It's cut off?
Cut out, yeah.
But I noticed it had stars going all the way through
that's
it.
right. Yeah, hey, not here, huh?
Nope, see, none of the rest of it.
Hey, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
This must be more original then.
I don't know.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell, I haven't even noticed that. Yeah, that's right, and the other ones haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I get to see this is quite worn, you see, that, you know, that was quite worn, see. I must have cut a piece off from it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does make it a different ribbon, innit?
Yeah, it is. Of course, this might have been a ribbon where you could cut it down and make lapel ribbons out of it.
Yeah,
You see?
that's possible.
If you cut it down, you can make a lapel ribbon out of it.
Yeah.
And they might have used that kind of ribbon. They probably made up ribbon like
Yeah,
that.
no, this is supposed to be 13 stars down there. Oh, no, 6,
no.
5.
5. They only have 5. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, same thing. Yeah, I'll be damned. Yeah, that's right. I see it now.
See, it's the same pattern too,
Yeah.
Mr. Van Iersel. See, the stars are the same thing.
Hey, yeah.
And you see, that comes,
Oh,
it's
I
wrapped
know
around.
now. That was sent to me probably for if I needed to
Make
replace
lapel ribbon.
the thing.
Lapel ribbons,
Yeah,
This type of ribbon.
to make a ribbon out of it again.
Yeah.
This would be the same thing.
Because you
but,
see, this ribbon's different. See, these ribbons all got the stars, all the stars on
there's
them.
the 13 stars.
Yeah, 13 stars, 13
That's
stars.
right. Yeah. I'll be damned.
What? All right.
You got sugar in it?
No, I'm fine. I'm just letting it cool off a little bit.
I need a little rest, right? Get my throat shut.
Yeah.
I just used to talking that much.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn this thing off. I got there's about 4 hours of tapes there.
Oh, God. I hope not.
I like the way you say that.
Yeah. So this guy I'm going to give you the address from, he's the one that got the original thing. And now if he tried to trade it in for something, but that thing sure doesn't look like it is. Now whoever did that.
Well, I'd like to, I would, I'd keep it in confidence, but I'd like to know, where the other, your original medal went,
Yeah.
'Cause like I said, I'm one of the co-founders of the Doughboy Historical Society, and
Sure.
Oh,
yeah, I got an envelope here with your name on it and a stamp. I never used.
Seeing one of the things, like, God, I bet those up in the car, but see, we put on, there's an article about the book I published right here. See, could you call this a noble form of war? They're talking about, World War I items, and there's my name.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then some of the World War I artifacts that are going to be in our museum. And there's a cover of one of the books I published with my name on it. It's on World War I. And that's a Siberia helmet there, because a lot of people aren't aware of the fact we had troops in Siberia. And then a typical doughboy display with a helmet and a bed. And then this is a chemical gas warfare, and a tank corps, an observer and an aviator's outfit, and a Marine Corps, and a camouflage, and then the field telephone, and a sniper's rifle, and a Lewis machine gun, and the body armor.
Yeah. In Patriotic Hall, I got a whole
And there's
down there.
And then there's the a distinguished service pilot's outfit with his distinguished and a distinguished service here. This was taken another. But one of the things that we lack in our display and what we'd like to have something representative of, that's an article when I was going through college, and my discharge paper, from the Ordnance Corps, and a letter from the museum telling about my help. And one of the things, what we'd like to have for our Doughboy Historical Society is we'd like to have, something on display of a World War I Medal of Honor that was actually his, to put on display in our museum.
The Medal of Honor Society, they run into quite often to people that try to say that they got the Congressional Medal, and but they find them out, they are after them. I'm telling you, after they get after them, they quit.
I had a guy tell me he won a Distinguished Service Cross a couple years ago, and I said, well, when did you win it? And I tried to pin him down because all you got to do is look it up in the government book.
Sure.
You look it up in the documents books, They got orders on him.
Yeah.
He would never come up with the information.
Yeah.
No. One day I told him, I said, people paid a high price to have that, and you shouldn't be running around saying that you did when you didn't.
Oh, yes.
Well, they have, what is it, the Legion of Valor?
Oh, sure.
Oh, you're a member of that, right?
Oh, hell yes.
Sure. Do they have any books that they put out of the members of that?
Yeah, they do.
Would it be possible to look at one of those? Do you have those handy?
I don't know. Maybe sure. I'll take a look and see.
Okay.
I had some, but I don't know.
Or if they're a couple of years old, I'd like to look at those because what I'd like to do is the names and addresses in them would help me locate other, people that won Distinguished Service Crosses and DSMs or other medals of valor in World War I. And I'd like to interview them before they pass on because, time's passing by, and if it isn't done, one of these days it'll be too late.
I wonder if I got the Legion of Valor things here.
Okay.
I may have. I may have one here. There's so damn much junk around. Second Division, and this is the address of the. I'll take a look on the table and see.
You don't think what color is that book, do you know?
Light.
White book.
Yeah, it wouldn't be underneath that other thing there, no.
It's not there. Let me look through this right here. Should we go ahead and look for that other?
Yeah, that is our newsletter we get every 2 months or 3 months. Yeah, take a look. I should have some, I know. What the hell? I'll take a look here.
Yeah. Well, the Indian had, that's the paper of the 2nd Division Association. And I'm an associate member of the 2nd Division.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and not that I was in the 2nd Division, but in my research on World War I history, I wrote to the 2nd Division Association headquarters in Fort Benning, Georgia, where they're located today.
Yeah, I've been there.
And so they,
as a guest.
and so they sent me an associated membership card and everything, and I pay the same dues as any other person.
Oh, well.
But see, that way I get the paper and everything.
Yeah.
So that I have names and addresses of people to contact.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Sure.
that's one. It's hard to find. By living in Montana, I mean, it's hard for me to find people. We live in a less populated area, and after a while, I've tracked out everybody. It's hard for me to find new people to go and talk to and interview. This right here is the Legion of Valor.
Yeah, those are Legion of Valor.
Now, do they have any rosters of members?
They have one there somewhere, but God only knows where it is. And the slightest idea. Now, I found this thing here, and I didn't even know I had it. I had it way up at the top down there, and just, I got so damn much junk,
Mm-hmm.
you see.
Well, what about that your Medal of Honor citation document? Do you still have that?
The what?
The citation document, the document that the government issued out for the Medal of Honor.
I really don't know, honest. I really don't know. I had it somewhere, but God, it's like anywhere, but I have to look for it. I don't know.
Well, I hate to see that stuff get lost,
Oh, yeah, God, I got so much stuff, and then something shows up and I didn't even know, like this one here. I didn't know I had this damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that one there here.
Mm-hmm. Can you go on after the what was it that we were involved in the was it the Champagne sector you were in, and then after that you went. What was the next engagement you were involved in?
Let's see now. The last one was Meuse Argonne, and before the Meuse Argonne, we was in. What is it?
The Verdun.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What the hell? Let's see here. Fort Benning, Georgia. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Here, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I was a guest down there at the time. They had an icebox full with liquor, and boy, did I enjoy myself. The whole week I was there as a guest. From the 9th Infantry. See,
Mm-hmm.
boy, they treated me royally. God, what a time I had. Yeah, Fort Benning, Georgia. Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, I'll have to look at something else.
Okay.
And I'll have something. I always have to start thinking when I think I get headache.
Go ahead. The green book, that larger book. Yeah, I have access to a copy of that at the university in Missoula. They have a copy.
Oh yeah, sure. I know. Yeah, they have them. That's why, and yeah, that everything is in,
Mm-hmm.
Senator Cranston sent me that
Mm-hmm.
for a present.
Mm-hmm.
Done a couple of good things for me. So against my own will, I voted for him, and he got in again.
Uh-huh.
I'm Republican, so I voted Democrat. I said, Lord, I know I should know better, but
How did you feel about the last election here?
oh, wonderful!
Wonderful.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
yes, I sure do.
Yeah, I do too.
Shit, yes, we're gonna have a better break. We can't get a worse break. He done so damn much junk that he didn't supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Carter, I'm just really glorified with it. Oh, I can donate about $200-300 to it. I got letters and certificates and everything else they send me, for $25 they send you a certificate and, you have to frame it yourself. Yeah.
What were you looking for right now?
Oh, it's something that I thought of, and I'm going to see here if I find it, and then I tell you. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, I tell you what I'm thinking of.
Okay, I know.
I haven't got his address here. There's a guy, I took his, in Pomona, he lives in Pomona, and I took his squad over when he was wounded.
Mm-hmm.
See, he was a corporal, at the time, see, and I took his squad over when he was wounded. And he never came back to the 2nd Division no more. They sent him to the casual company and he went somewhere else, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But we went through a lot of things together, see. I was in his squad, 3 or 4 different fronts. Malcolm Hoff. And that's what I was looking for. Maybe you could give him a ring. He'd be glad to talk to you. I would think he would. I don't know. You never know. Because poor guy, he got a pacemaker in his heart, and his wife runs, tried to run him. He don't like that. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But him and I was in the same platoon. Like I say, I took his squad over when he was wounded. No, all I got is his telephone number.
I can write. Well, here.
Yeah.
Let me see. Do you have his name there?
No, here there's a
It's right
telephone
here.
number right there, Malcolm Hoff.
Malcolm Huff, telephone number
Yeah, there's
629
Yeah.
2998.
See, if you look in the book and you find his
Yeah.
address too.
Yeah.
It's
right.
Columbia. It's 600 something East Columbia. There's nothing here.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it is 629-2998. That's 9 in it. That's not 4, is it? That's 9.
That's nines. They're both nines.
Yeah.
Look like the rest of the nines there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can you tell me in your words about the incident that led to your winning the Medal of Honor?
Yeah.
I mean, you've probably told that many times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you what happened. I really didn't expect to get it. I was actually recommended, and he will probably tell you that if you got a chance to talk to him. He's quite to the point, you know, boy, very nice fellow. Him and I got along, he's beautiful. But they recommended me for the company recommended me for the DSC for getting the job I did, you see. But all through the war, I went on patrol duty, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to talk French and German, that was my job, you know. Sometimes I got close to the German lines, you know, and I tried to learn what I was talking about, things like that. I got that close, you see, because it's kind of delicate, you know.
Like crawling around through the trenches, out in no man's land.
Yeah, that's not so. One time I was walking in the trenches. That before I tell you the other one, I was walking through the trenches, and you know what I call the trenches are zigzag. You know, see that one way this way, one way that way, and that zigzag. You know, that's what the French call zigzag. And I turned the corner, and there I saw 5 officers bended over maps. I was looking over 5 German officers looking over a map, and I had my pistol out, you know, and so I said, "Hand low, you know, hands up." So they put their hands up, and I started talking with the man in charge, you know, the colonel or something in charge, and he believed me, you know, and he called something in Becko. There was a dugout with 60 men in it. And I told him, I said, well, they come out with their hands up and leave the weapon there. So he called up, and I had them all lined up in the trench, 65 of them. When the rest of my troops came up, see, I told him he was surrounded, you know, at the time that I told him that they wasn't so. But by the time that he got all that Sycamore down, he was surrounded, see, you know, he couldn't get away no more then, you see, it was 65 of them. So they gave me credit for capturing 65 Germans single-handed. You know, they asked me how I did it, you know, that's surrounded them. But that shows you how circumstances lead to a thing, you know, see, you know, and I did the same thing I always did, you know, and I got those guys and think nothing of it, see. I got 65 and I scared the hell out of me to see all those guys jumping up out of that trench. And later on, we fought 35 of them had knives in their boots, you know. 35 of them, and some of them had a couple of pistols hidden around the body and things like that. So we made them, you know, we looked them over good before we send them back, you know, we send them back to the rear. And so I got medal for that. I got another quite a gear for that. for capturing 65 prisoners single-handed. Well, I tell you what happened. This time, all through that was 2 days before the armistice, November the 9th, and the order was given to try to cross the river Meuse at all costs. Because the Germans was located on the other side of the bank of the river. We was on one side and the Germans was on the other side. And the Germans was entrenched down there, which we didn't know. You see, that they was entrenched down there. So they sent all kinds of platoons out to investigate and find out where they was located, you see. So about a week before that, November the 9th, November the 2nd, one of our patrols not from the company, from the battalion, went around and I found that the bridge was still there, you see, the bridge that I was supposed to go over. So they put orders out for the commander to go out and go on the bridge, you know, and go to the other side, and the order was that there was 15 men holding the bridgehead. 15 men, you know, that's all there was, you see, 15. Okay. So he called me in, the commander called me in, there was a captain at the time. He says, Van Iersel, he said, would you be willing to take the job on and go and ahead of it, and then when you're through there, he said, we'll come by and we'll clean up and finish it up, see. You know, all I had to do was supposed to kill 5 or 6 men on the bridge, and then surprise the ones that was in the thing, but you know, there was maybe 5 or 6, maybe 9 of them sleeping, you know. It was night, you see, I colder than hell. So I said, okay, so I got on the bridge and nobody suspected me of anything because I make no noise, you know. So I finally got there, the bridge wasn't there. The Germans blew up the bridge. So that my orders was to take the bridge, see, you know, kill first one guy on one side. We had hand grenades, feathers, and everything, you know, well prepared, you see. And I had
You're leading a patrol right now?
Huh?
Were you leading a patrol right now?
Yeah.
How many men in the patrol?
Huh?
Do you recall how many men in the patrol?
6 of them.
6 of them?
Yeah. So, and then they let me pick out the men I wanted to get. So everyone on the squad, the 6 of them, they all went through a lot of things, you see. I knew that they was good boys, you know, I could depend on them. Because a thing like that, you know, you have to get somebody that you can depend on. So they went with me. And when we got on the riverbank, there was no bridge. So what the hell, you know, what will I do? So I started to put the men back of the pillars and what you call it, you know, the wall that was still standing up there, you know, on our side, and I told them to stay behind there, and I go up and investigate, find out what's going on, see, what I could find out. So I got on the board. There was a board connecting our side. It was maybe about 1.5 feet on our side, and the rest was on the German side. And that was connected with, not connected, but laying on the debris of the bridge, you see, you know, there was a hell of a lot of debris, because that was about 150 to 200 feet of bridge that was laying there. That's a hell of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So when I went on the damn board, you know, the board went down and I went down with it. I fell in the river, see. And so found out later on the board was had been with a sign on it, an electric sign on it, so the damn board went down. There went the sign up on the other side of the river where there was, you know, the German side, and they started shooting, see. In the meantime, I was I swam about maybe 150 feet, and I got where I could get on the top of the debris, you know, and lay still there and hit myself on the boards, you know. I got the damn thing was like a mountain, you know, and then I had to get up there halfway anyway, more than halfway, to find out what I could see. You see, I couldn't see a damn thing. It was dark, you know, and all of a sudden, the Germans started shooting. Jesus, boy, they opened up with everything they had. Machine guns, they opened up with rifle fire, And come to find out later on, there was 150 men holding the bridgehead and 7 machine gun emplacements in and around the anchor point. It was an anchor point, which is protected more than anything else, you see, and all along the line, where on each side of the bridge was a machine gun, and 5 machine guns within about maybe 500-600 feet, and most of every damn thing opened up. And oh boy, there I was, laying there, but I was safe enough that I hit behind the bush, that didn't hit me. And so after the Germans stopped shooting, I told myself, well, hell, there's no place for me to stay. So I tried to go back, and I managed to swim over to the other side where we was, there was no boat no more, and there was awful heavy stream, but I made it. And then I tried to climb up, and then those poles were still standing, and, slippery in hell, because that is, tight, but, from leaning out, see, and then the poles were awful slippery. I got about halfway up, and I shoot the flare up. And flare stays 2.5 minutes in the air and lights up everything, the whole countryside, see? And there I was hanging on for dear life on that thing, and as luck would be, they didn't see me because my uniform is so blended in with the green stuff on the thing, you see, so they didn't see me, And after it was all over, they didn't shoot no more. So I climbed up to the top and I made it to the other side, you see, and so I went to the commander and told him what I've seen and what happened, that all the people opened up and all the firing and things like that. And I heard him say they was going to put over a barrage. I hollered and they hollered and oh God, there was confusion galore down there, with the Germans too, because they didn't expect nobody there, And so they know damn well when that alarm went off that there was something doing. So boy, did I open up. So after that, I went over there, and he had orders to go across the bridge and take the German side. But I didn't realize that was an anchor point and that was so much protected, you see, So he knows damn well if he tried to do that, he'd probably lose all of his men or more. So he changed his orders on it and he didn't go. The captain told me later on, he said, in all his military life, he said, he never had such a job to decide whether to believe me or not. He said, as luck would be, turned out he believed me, and he called the troops back, and they was safe in trenches and things like that, around the place. And they did put over a barrage. So after that, I claimed that if it hadn't been for me getting the information and going ahead with the job instead of turning back, it's saving quite a few people from being shot, being killed. That was it, you see. And yeah, because when my order for the DSC went to battalion headquarters, they changed it to Congressional Medal, and from there on, the man in charge, the Lieutenant Hanford McNider from Mason City, Iowa, was the one that recommended me for the Congressional Medal. He fought it all the way through, and he was pretty powerful, you see. And he was a wonderful man. Him and I always got along real swell. So he fought for me, and it took him 4 months to get me the medal. See, it happened in November 9th, and I didn't get my medal till about March 15th, something around that. That's the date, I think it is. It should be easy to find out because it was only one of those things on there, you see, on the division reviews, see. Yes, in Valendar, see, Valendar, Valendar, Germany. So then when I got the medal, they told me what the trouble they had because I wasn't a citizen, you see. That they weighed heavily against me, for not being a citizen, see. But he stuck with it, and I got the medal. So just lucky.
How did you feel at the time about the fact that
tell you the truth,
that you received the Medal of Honor?
I wasn't affected at all. No. He came, I met the major And a little while before I got the medal, you know, he said, Louis, he says, we fighting, trying to get you the Congressional Medal. I said, well, that's nice. That's all I said, you see. And I wasn't even thinking about it. So help me, honest, I didn't. Of course, when I got later on, I felt pretty good, you know. See, when I was decorated, I felt all right, you see. But at the moment, it didn't really affect me. Honest, that's the thing.
How about the men around you?
Huh?
How about the other?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, you know, they really changed their attitude, you know, because I knew I was going to get that medal, you know. They really. Then there was an outfit, you know, what they call Pershing's Guard, and Pershing kind of took a liking to me, I guess, and he gave orders to put me in the Pershing's Guard, you see, and I was for the 2nd Division. Now there was one item there that wasn't quite right. The Pershing's Guard, that was all 6 feet or 5'9" or more. That was all for show, you know, see. So they said they scratched their head, you know, they see we couldn't very well get that small sergeant in there with all the big guys, you know. So they changed the whole platoon to 5'4", from 5'2" to 5'4". So they must, you know, see. One platoon, you see, there was F Company of the Composite Regiment. They was all small guys. And F was the last company, you see. So the big fellas, they all, see, we went parading for show, you know, see. But then when they're going to put me in the company, they said, what the hell are they going to do, you know, and they want to make a showing. So they made especially one company used to
accommodate.
Yeah, that's the truth now.
That's interesting.
Crazy though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned to me on the phone, I'd like you to tell me about that again, that you witnessed, was a bunch of balloon guys that got shot down?
Oh yeah, the balloon company?
Yeah, tell me about that.
Oh yes, we had a balloon company down there. They trained for, about a year and a half, a couple of years I think they trained, damn near. And when they came to our outfit, they was sent to our outfit, you know. And they had 7 balloons, and the damn fool just set them all up in one afternoon. And they wasn't up a half hour, and the Germans shot every damn one of them down. We was too close to the Germans there, you see, you know, all the time. We was all the time close to the Germans, because we was, several times, we was close enough of hand-to-hand fighting. Very little of it, but in all that I can remember, in this 5 engagements, I was in 7 engagements, 5 major engagements, 2 others. And there was only 15 minutes of hand-to-hand fighting. You know, that's a mess when you get hand-to-hand fighting, believe me. You haven't got much time to get the guy, but if you don't get him, he'll get you, you know. So went after him, you know. Boy, I'm telling you, that was rough. But that's all we had. You know,
is there any experiences in your personal hand-to-hand combat, you know, you'd like to talk about?
No, really not. There was nothing much about it. I put a couple of guys out of commission, and the rest of them did the same thing, so we overpowered them. You know. But that was the only thing, you see, yeah.
In combat and the trench patrols and everything, did they use trench clubs or trench maces, they call them, or a short club? Did you ever see very many of those? You see them in British museums and stuff. You see, you see a German one. You know, it's a trench truncheon or a club.
No, I've never seen it. No, okay. I seen a lot of those potato mashes that the Germans threw over, and a wooden handle, and on the thing on the bottom, you know, the foot, you know, threw it over, you see. They have a more leverage to throw it, you see. That's the Germans threw them, you know, see. Yeah. I've been hiding from them lots of times, but if I could. Boy, I'm telling you, it's pretty rough, all right. Yeah, after 5 major engagements. But only 4 in the company out of 200 that had the same luck as I did, that went through the whole thing. We had 300% replacements. 300%. That's right.
Well, I know the 2nd Division lost more men than any other division.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, it was always an action, you know.
More ground.
Well, yeah, we was fighting with the German elite, you know, see, and the Crown Prince, his army, he had the best of the Germans, you know. And we was fighting the Crown Prince's army, see. So that veteran, he was crazy. That's all. He was nuts. He sent 200-300 guys out. He knew they're going to get killed, and just didn't give them. Just let them go. Every time, you know. So that he was the Kaiser's son, you know. See, yeah, Crown Prince Wilhelm. Yeah, but we in I think it was San Mihiel where we came, but in about a half hour getting him, we came on a big concrete emplacement, and we went in there. You know, the Germans beat it already, and the stew was still on the stove. The stove was hot. Stew was still on the stove. They had all kinds of rooms in it, and that was the Crown Prince's headquarters. And if we'd been there a half hour sooner, we would have got him. But he got away from us. That's right. And then they had close by there, they had that, what I call the big butter, that shot the big guns.
Yeah, that shot that round in the
planes.
Yeah,
you know, to Paris, you know. See, the big butter shot to Paris, you know. And 2 nights before, they were shelling Paris. And we got there, all was left was not even the small truck that went to it. They left there. They took that along with them too. And there was nothing but a few old screws without heads on them. What's left on the things where they had the gun place, you know. They had a small gauge railway, you know, and then they took the damn gun away. So we didn't see it no more. We got
and completely dismantled it.
That was the last time we shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got away with it. Them Germans.
You know, I was an article I was reading in a magazine about that. You know, there's only 1 or 2 known original pictures of that gun.
Well, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, the Germans were really highly secret about it. They wouldn't allow anybody to photograph it because they didn't want anybody to know about it.
That's right. Yeah,
there's
big birthday. Yeah.
I know in some of the experimental trial tests, you know, the U.S. had of certain arms and weapons in World War I. There's no surviving pictures, you know.
No. Well, I know we got within the day of getting it, but we didn't. There was nothing left on the damn thing. The whole thing was just completely removed. Even the tracks that went to it. Yeah, they.
How many times, Mr. Van Iersel? How many times were you wounded in combat?
I was wounded 3 times and gassed twice.
And gassed twice?
But I got only wounded enough to get what you call it, through the arm here, when I got the Purple Heart for it, you know. So yeah, and then I got a Silver Star medal too. Yeah.
How did you get wounded the other 2 times? You told me about the arm.
Well, I had a bullet hit there and messed that thing up, and I had this here that cut that open, and to get there was a piece of shrapnel in there.
Oh, I see.
See, and I pulled it out. And so, boy, bleeding, my God. So I had to go to the hospital for it. Not to the hospital, but to the rear, and I came back and they tied it up real good, and that was all there is to it.
Where were you gassed at the 2 times? One time at Verdun?
Oh, yeah, in Verdun where I got gassed bad, too, yeah. Oh, boy, that mustard gas is awful. Jeez, when I got back, you know,
How did that affect you at the time? I mean...
Oh, I was more from coughing that I lost my left lung put in there with the gas. You know, and coughing, and oh boy, it was terrible. But you see, we could not afford, and if anybody got hit, you know, and they was able to walk, they walked, you see, because we could not afford to lose any men. See, because we was, as it were, we was a kind of measured group against group, you see. If there was 500 in the German group that I figured, then they put 300-400 of our group in there, you see. And that's the way that worked. That. So when anybody got hit, well, you couldn't afford to go back and help them because they can't afford to get you, you know, to lose, you see. You had to go on. Sure.
Where did you get gassed the second time at?
Well, I got gassed in, what you call it, in the Argonne.
Argonne.
Yeah, we went down there taking some trenches and things like that, and we got gassed out there a couple of times.
What about experience with, oh, sometimes, I'm just curious to ask you about this, like, with, you hear people mention about trench rats in World War One.
Oh, trench rats.
Yeah.
Well, we used to like them. We didn't supposed to feed them. There was a rule against that to feed them, but we fed them. Because if you're on guard at night,
Mm-hmm.
you have a hell of a time keep your eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
And them rats, they fought and squealed so much that you had to stay awake. You couldn't sleep. And they kept us from sleeping. That's the truth, yeah. That some of us, some about 2.5 feet long. I tell you what, just like dogs almost. Yeah. And they fight, see, we threw some stuff away, and they fight for it, you see. They came out, and fight for it. And we couldn't put no light on them,
Mm-hmm.
Because at night, hell, the Germans, they see a little light, boom, like you come, see. At one time, we had came in a town, the French had been there a little before.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got about 40 rabbits. And boy, was that 40 rabbits, for the group, hungry like we were. And I set the kitchen up and I started to fry the rabbits,
Mm-hmm.
And so I was ready to eat. We was lining up for the food, and somebody in the rear started a rumpus, So I had to go back and see what it was, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And before they started to dish the food out, the damn Germans sent a shell right in the middle of the stove, blew the rabbits all to places. And there I was in the back getting that fight straightened out.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the front of it, there was 15 of them killed, right in front of the line. And most of our not our officers, but our non-commissioned officers was killed.
Holy smoke.
And I would have got it too if I'd been there, see, but I wasn't there. So, that.
A lot of things are just fate and just luck about not being in the wrong spot at the...
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, God, yes, I've been in so close. One time we was on a little knoll, 3 of us resting, and 2 corporals and myself. And all of a sudden, the German machine gun opened up, and they hit the 2 guys next to me, one on each side, right in the middle of the face. It just blew her head off.
Oh, man.
And there I was in the middle and didn't get hurt. It's luck. That's all. Just luck because, hell, being that close, there's something to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another time we was located in a building. There was about 5 rooms, and I was in one of the rooms. And the Germans started shelling that house where we was in, and the part where we was in with our platoon didn't get hurt at all. And the other 4 lost about half of their men from the casualties.
I just, in relationship, just to tell you back something, I have a guy he was in A Company of the 2nd Engineers.
Oh, yeah.
Division. His name is Ralph Williams, and he lives in Wisconsin, and he told me he was a company bugler, and he said he never used the bugle much, but I mean he said that's what his job was, and he said he got wounded one time. I believe it was in he was at Verdun, and it was at Mount St. Blanc.
That's possible, Mount St. Blanc. Yeah,
he was there.
That's a minor one.
And he said that he got a light wound there, and he was sent back to a field hospital to be taken care of, and he was gone about 18 or 20 days. And he said that when he left, he gave his bugle to his best buddy. His best buddy had mentioned to him about his kid sister at home, and he says, I had a few young ladies to correspond to from the trenches, and he said I wasn't interested in writing to his snot-nosed tyke sister. That's what he referred to it to me as. And he said that he went to the hospital. When he came back, he went to the company tent where his buddy was to pick up his bugle and everything, because he'd given him to have him handle the job for him.
Yeah.
And he said he walked in and picked up the bugle and got the bugle in, and he walked out of the tent, and incoming enemy round hit the tent, killed his buddy.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
said,
Yeah.
and he said that they made a deal with one another if they got
Yeah.
home that they
Oh,
would
them
go
second
to.
engineers, that was, oh boy, that was wonderful, bro. I'm telling you, God, they did a lot of stuff. They built a lot of bridges, one time bridges, see.
You know, they were combat engineer
Yeah,
outfits. So
sure, oh yeah.
but he said that it was really odd. He says when he returned out of the occupation of Germany and came home from overseas, he went to Iowa to look up this family, of his buddy, and he said he met the snot-nosed type daughter, and he said 3 weeks later they got married. And that was his wife for all these years, and she died about 3 years ago, And he sent me. I've got his 2nd Division uniform at home and all of his medals and his Purple Heart. He turned everything over to me, and I've got all his.
Wonderful.
Well, he's a really interesting. He says, well, it's going someplace where we'll be taken care of.
Oh, the 2nd Division was not to be, biased about it, but that was one of the best ones there. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
We had the most casualties. We had the most action, see.
Yeah. Captured
That
more
we
ground.
happened to be fighting the Germany light all the time, see.
Mm-hmm.
And Germans, there was one good thing about it, they had very little, but a lot of shelling, but no airplanes, see. No planes at that time. For us. No, that's too close too close for action, see. Yeah. Oh, towards the end of the war, though, we got Germans, we got kids from 12 years old to guys 70 years old. Really, that's what
they were reaching the end of it. They were.
Oh yeah, the
pulling
weather was
anything they
terrible.
could get.
Yeah. When finally the armistice was signed, there were 3 false alarms, you see, and I was on a sniper post on our side, and we had orders to shoot till 11 o'clock. So about 11:15, some Germans started to come out of their hole down there, out of the place where I was, and we had orders to shoot, so we killed 15 of them. Oh, we felt sorry about that, really. After all, but the orders are orders.
Yeah.
You got orders to shoot 11 o'clock. You got 3 false alarms already, that this might have been another false alarm, but it wasn't. Happened to be the right one. But we got 15 of them that we killed right at the last minute.
Mr. Van Iersel, did you ever have experience as a sniper yourself? As a sniper? Personally work as a sniper? Did you?
Do what?
Did you personally work as a sniper yourself?
Oh yeah, I was on the sniper post one time. Yeah.
Did you ever use any scoped rifles with those Warner Swayze scopes?
No, we never had those.
Just shot with iron sights?
Yeah, that's all.
And what?
No, we had nothing fancy. All we had was use something to kill somebody with. The idea of war is if you get up against the guy, if you don't get him, he'll get you, That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
That's why that'll be in your mind foremost, when you go anywhere like that, you know that they're after you and you're after them. So you got a little faster at the Moses, you're okay. That's the way it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure, that's right, Sure, what the hell. Well, I don't know, I was awful lucky when going through all that stuff, my God. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's really
I really don't.
That's really interesting about you're talking about those, those trench rats, that you.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. We liked them, and that they fight, and that kept us awake. That's the truth.
Well, what about? Is there any other little incidents like that where you don't hear about them too often that that this thinking across in your mind?
Not too much that I can remember, offhand. No.
What about all the vermin and the lice and everything? Yeah. Did they have a lot of that, the body lice and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that's just...
Oh, I tell you, it's really no fun.
Yeah.
It's no fun, believe me. But I got close ones. Boy, oh boy, I got close ones.
Can you explain, you say close?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and explain more about that?
Well, that I get within with a lot of others together, you know, a lot of them got killed off, and I wasn't hurt at all. You see, that happens lots of times. I got one time I was taking a little rest on a hillside, and all of a sudden a German shell landed on the top of the hill and blew half of the hill down and blew it all over me. And about maybe a few minutes before, I was with the guys, you know, so they missed me. They started looking for me. And I looked all over. They didn't see my body, or they didn't see me lay or holler. So they saw what had happened down there on that hill, you know. The dirt came down, they started digging, and they had to dig 4 feet to get me out. They got me out. Yeah, that's right. So that was pretty lucky too, you know, that I was well liked, you know, because I got along with the guys, and in my case, you know, after you get on the front a certain length of time, you know what you're doing. That's when you become valuable and you know what you're doing.
I'm going to stop this for a minute.